as you get ready to get to know Larry, one of the most honest, bluntly raw, absolutely beautiful souls that has agreed to be on this show, to open their hearts and let the heart speak, let the heart say what it has to say. Know that he'll talk about his sexuality, his childhood, some abuse, some psychological patterns, and this just happened naturally after collecting some interviews for the Philosophy Club in New York City that I'm part of. And then I said, Larry, would you like to just have a little bit of a moment with me for my YouTube, my show? And he said, yes. Here it is. I hope you enjoy.
More to this person than someone else thinking. There's always a qualitative, assessment. And I just want to be able to just not have all these questions. Freedom is just being totally, there. And I've never really been there. As I mentioned before, it was like, what came first? My thought. We're having a conversation.
Yeah, we are now.
Yeah.
I'm going to change. So keep going. So what came before and what comes?
What's the question?
I mean, I just want you to finish your thought.
Yeah,
you
well,
were saying it's hard to get people to that level of honesty.
Yeah,
and
well,
that
that's the
level
thing.
of depth.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a turnoff. I mean, to so many people because I never knew people did not think about themselves. In terms of if they think about themselves, it's very utilitarian. That's where psychology has gone. Everything is like, develop your mind so it's what you could attain. It's not even knowing who you are doesn't matter anymore. I never, everything's become so externalized. And I'm such an internal person, yes, I'm obsessed with myself, but I'm obsessed with selves in general,
Do you do any kind of art?
Oh, I can't even, I am like, see, that's the thing, there's such a disparity. When someone did my chart, they said your emotions are opposite your intellect.
Well, that sounds like the person doesn't know what you're talking about because, anyone can do it. But I just mean because, I think it's Nietzsche that talks about this, how, one of the greatest things that an artist can use for their art is how they battle with the world and how they don't see themselves in the world. And it sounds like you're doing that.
But I think art obfuscates. A lot of people do art because it's a safe way of expressing yourself. I don't really need art because I could say it.
You can express it.
Yeah. I mean, to the extent that I'm oratory, the art, it's like conversing is my art. Trying to.
I love that. Converse is my art.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to get what's in, and the whole thing, am I coming across? And that's, sometimes, I'll talk and I know they move on to the next person. Sometimes I struggle to get my thought out. Where I have no problem with you because I know what you want and you want that essence.
Of people.
You want me. It's like I don't have to.
Can you feel that?
Well, yeah, just looking at you. You look like Ingrid Bergman.
Who's that?
That's not going to stop me from feeling close to you. Because so many people don't know classic Hollywood. She was a great actress of the 40s.
I should know because I studied film actually. So I should
She
know.
was married to Robert Rossellini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That
shame
resonates.
on you.
Okay.
No, you don't know who Robert Rossellini was?
I do.
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
Say her name once more.
Ingrid Bergman.
Okay.
Her daughter is.
I should know.
Yeah, Isabel Rossellini is her daughter.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But no, I wish I was autistic. I mean, I'm divorced from my body.
Maybe you are autistic. How do you know you're not? If it's a spectrum.
Well, I mean, I could be autistic.
You could be.
I would have to read about art first. So, I don't know what to look for.
I've been told that I am.
Autistic?
A little bit, yeah. by one or two people.
Autistic or autistic? Autistic?
That I had a little bit of autism. I don't know.
Autism.
So I don't know if it's. the
I'm
same.
watching the thing, Love on the Spectrum, which is about autism. I don't know if I mean, I never thought of myself as autistic, you know.
You know what I've heard about autism is that there are people who are connected to spiritual worlds and other worlds to a really strong degree, and maybe to your essence, you're connected to a world of ideas really strongly that you cannot simply erase from your mind, from your essence, from who you are. And you just download those concepts, and you're here to share them with us.
Yeah, but it's not valued.
Yes, it is.
But no,
Who told you it's not valued? I'm interviewing you because I think they're valued.
But you're the exception. Believe me, I'm around people when I begin to.
I think it's because you believe that it's not valued. If you start to change it, it will be.
It's too raw for people. They don't want this. It's almost like they feel like I'm embarrassing myself by putting it on the line like that.
One of the first spiritual principles is that if you see a behavior in the other person, you're really only reflecting what you believe about yourself.
I agree.
So if they say that, it's because they believe that about themselves.
Yeah, but
so
I mean,
who cares? Okay.
Well,
So,
I mean, it's gotten to that. I
maybe
mean,
you need different kinds of people.
well, that's why I came here.
There you go.
You know,
And
but
maybe
even
you
among,
will
you know,
find them.
listen, philosophy, it's not going to be a panacea because there's different, you know, just because people, you know, are into philosophy, you know, it's like when people say, oh, I like this person, he reads also, like, duh, you know. I don't know. I mean, you know, what makes one connect to another? You know, why do I feel good with you? Also, you're a woman. I've always had a female identity. I'm gay, and I can't tell you the abuse I grew up with. You know, beaten, hated, and just the idea that I could be liked is a novel thing for me. You know, so I didn't start living until, I got over my fear. And I stopped running after an ideal that was basically the part of me that I did not want to own. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, it's like the whole idea of masculinity, you know, it's that instead of being conscious, like, you know, this is you know, I mean, is there an essence, we're talking about an essence to what is a man and what is a woman? I mean, I feel like we're trying to run away from essence because we like to think that, you know, I mean, there is, you know, physical manifestations, this whole idea of, you know, can a woman, you know, can a man who identifies as a woman do woman sports? Well, you got the body of a man, you know. So it's almost like, you know, we want to create a frontier that in a way is based on a fallacy. I understand what it's like to feel like a woman, but I'm also a man. So again.
What is the fallacy?
The fallacy is that physically you're built like
different.
a man. You have certain muscles that maybe a few women have, but in general, most women do not have that.
Yeah. I think it's just asking us for us to have like genderless sports.
But it can't be because we're, you know. Our bodies are defined by our gender. A man is not built like a woman. You could have similarities.
Oh yeah, but maybe the game itself can be, or whatever sport we're talking about, can be played by both, and we'll see what happens. We'll experiment what happens with that.
Well, except, you know, the person, there's a way out of the conundrum. That's a way, I mean, there's a path. There's a path. I think if it's, that they're not alone. I think what I hear a lot is, I have no one to talk to, people say. I have no one to communicate with. You know, people don't want to talk about this, you know, it's, you know, they talk about things and they talk about things that don't matter to me, or conversations are so scripted. It's all about, you know, it's like the Kardashian became the archetype of everything that's irrelevant. And I think people like to feel that the things that matter the most to them, that there's a place that exists, that what seems not to be valued in society in terms of that sort of looking at, it has no utilitarian purpose other than itself. You know, it's like, why major in philosophy? Well, it trains your mind how to think. It's almost like the birthplace of all other thoughts. If you can't think, how can you manage your life? It doesn't mean you won't be successful. What is that? So far, I think sometimes the most successful people are people that don't think because they're so action oriented. I've never been a success in that way. But I'm alive. I've been, another little thing, I've been living with AIDS 45 years. And why am I one of the longest living people with AIDS? I still get sick, but I have such a thirst. I think the freedom to be is keeps you living. I think the more you hold in, I think there's one of these doctors talked about it. I forgot his name. That people die because of repression. And I think I let it out. I have no, it's like I'm naked to the world. And I want to set that as an example.
Woo! I want to clap.
I want to set that as an example.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Don't repress.
Don't repress. Don't repress. It's like listen, I've learned to laugh at myself. If I could deride myself more than anyone that could, there are no secrets. Secrets, I think, kill you.
Larry,
Because,
can I give you a hug?
why not?
You are a hero. Thank you for saying that. That was really beautiful. No, because I've met a lot of people that I think are either incredibly unhappy or have actually died because of their repression of
Yeah.
who they are. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
And I think you being able to look at a camera and just say that
Yeah.
is just
Yeah. I mean,
you're a special guy. Do you know that?
I was beat up. I was beat up because of that. Because I was so.
Because of who you are.
Well, it's almost like you're a woman. Men are supposed to be protective of themselves. Men do not reveal who they are.
They're meant to be.
What?
They're meant to be secretive.
They're meant to. It's like you have, as the other protector, you can't be vulnerable. You can't give away who you are because that's where you could be. If you're weak, then you give your. Considering that everyone is a competitor in the world, you're saying this is my weakness, and you're saying, oh, I know how to attack. Now he knows where to attack me at.
Oh, you think that's it?
Makes sense. Sounds
does
good.
make sense.
Sounds good. I mean,
I do sense from a lot of men that they have this kind of game going on with women and don't reveal yourself too much and stuff. But
yeah, I mean, I could see how when I mean.
you don't have that at all. That makes no sense to me. That I just don't possess that.
And that's why it's so difficult with men because I'm just so out there. And they'll try to change the subject, but if I ask them something personal, they'll just or say that, I notice we have this relationship with one another. Oh, it's like, it's not, there's a certain discourse. I'm understanding masculinity. You see, I don't want to, when I was after it, I didn't need to understand that I want to be, overpowered by it. I want to be, the object of conquest, desired for being non-masculine. Unfortunately, that isn't the way it works in the gay world. So that was, gay was not an answer. I even considered transitioning, at one point.
And then what happened?
Oh, she kept saying, when are you going to wear a dress? When are you going to wear a dress? When are you going to wear a dress? It's not about me fucking wear a dress. I'm not going to wear a dress when I'm at. I was in therapy 20 years ago with one of the top people. This was before transgenderism became a thing. It's like 20 years ago,
And they asked you?
Because she was trained at the Henry Benjamin Institute, which was the place that was doing, the major work. It was not out like it is now. And she said, well, you need to see how you appear dressed as a woman. I said, I'll be dressed as a woman. That doesn't make me a woman. I mean, my sense of being a woman is not how I appear. It's who I am inside. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and do you think the change of gender would help in that?
Well, to the extent that I cannot accept a gay man. I do not own my penis.
Yeah.
I mean.
So you think removing your penis would help?
Well, yeah, because, I can't imagine. You could be the ugliest woman and a man will want you. It's almost like just the nature of having a vagina makes, it's like, I mean, there's something about the way that I watch dynamics just here between men and women, and you know, like especially if there's a woman in a group and it tends to be like three men, and it's almost like, you know, it's they want to make the woman feel accepted for some reason. It's like it's like they're almost always looking to like, you know, win the woman, win the woman. And it just seems like a battle among the male species.
Oh, for sure.
You know, that's a very big change, you know, embracing masculinity because, you know, this whole idea of toxic masculinity is really not really the point. Because by demonizing it, you're almost like, you know, there are trends that men have. But I think when you go to the extreme, you just focus on the extreme, you're sort of missing the point. Because, you know, men were horrible to me growing up. I mean, you know, a faggot was the worst thing to be in their eyes. But as long as I held that perception, I could not even look at the man in myself. Because the man was, you know, I mean, I could not, and I figure, you know, there's more latitude in being a man. I think one reason why I may have, you know, I could wear more clothes now that in my age, you know, would have instantly been frowned upon because fashion has changed for men. More feelings now. There's a greater options that men can, you know, embrace things that were not traditionally masculine in terms of behavior traits.
So you think it's easier now?
Oh, it's much easier for me to be who I am. You know, I'm also an adult. People don't attack you as an adult as they do as a kid. But childhood was horrible. And I know what.
Happy you're alive and you're here and living and breathing and making choices?
There's something. It's like so many of my friends said, if they knew they could not meet a man, they don't want to go on living. Gay men, you know, especially, you know, when sex meant everything to them, to not, you know, it's like they couldn't. I had to get away from that because I never was a magnet for men. So I had to develop all the parts of myself. And just the thought that that whole thing, that everything depended on that one thing, and I had a relationship, not even a relationship. I thought I had. I didn't even know. I knew it wasn't even a relationship, but it was something that I could call a relationship. So I liked the idea of a relationship, even though a relationship was nothing. Was the furthest thing from a relationship. But I liked the idea of it. And when it got destroyed, I just wanted to die because the thing that meant the most was not there. And I said, how can I? You know, I can't base my life on something that is not me. That way the object, there's no relate, that the subject and object are distinct from one another. You know what I'm saying? I need something like a book. You know, a book is a friend. You know, I read a book, oh my God, I read philosophy, you know. It's so interesting, you know. The book is not going to reject me. You're too stupid to read me, Larry. No, I mean, you know, it's like I had to deal with the point of zero. You know, I had to say, I left the gay world for like 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, I thought they were knocking.
It sounded like knocking.